Hi everyone, welcome back. So, in the previous video, we learned how to use formulas and built-in functions in OmniStudio data mappers. So, as we know, built-in functions are powerful, but in real projects, sometimes business requirements become too complex to implement the logic inside the formulas, right? So, in those situations, OmniStudio allows us to extend its capabilities by creating a custom Apex functions. So, in this video, we will build a custom Apex function to calculate an account health score and invoke it from the data mapper formula tab. Okay, so before writing code, let's understand how to when the Apex function should be used, and how to create an Apex function, and how to establish the communication between OmniStudio component and Apex. Okay, so when to use Apex function? So as I mentioned before, when the business logic becomes difficult to maintain in formulas, we go for custom Apex function, and and the logic can be reused. So once you build a Apex function, the same function can be used in other data mappers, and it can also be used in integration procedures. Okay, and so in our example, we want to calculate an account health score based on multiple business inputs. So these are the business inputs that we will be getting from the account object. So total account and to opportunity object. So total revenue is the first input. So we will calculate total revenue by summing up all the opportunities amount, and on the opportunity count, and then customer type, which is a field in account object, and customer loyalty weight, which is in number of years since a customer was onboarded. Okay, so let's talk about the system dot callable interface. Okay, so the OmniStudio communicates with Apex using this callable interface. Okay, so callable interface provides a general so to implement a callable interface, we must write call method. Okay, so which acts as a entry point for all custom function request. Okay, so to call method, we pass action name and the arguments. Action name is nothing but when we write a custom Apex function class, so we could be using it for multiple functions. So we can pass the which action we wanted to perform as argument to the call method with other arguments. Okay, so let's go through let's open our Salesforce org and go through the code step by step. uh, let's implement a system.callable interface. Okay, okay, so for this session, I'm going to be reusing the formulas and functions demo which we have created in our previous session. Okay, so let me execute. So currently we are getting account name and the opportunities count. Okay, so one of the business input is opportunities count, and we also need total revenue and customer type, and we need customer loyalty, like how many years the customer is with us, right? So first let's get the total revenue. So I'm going to create a formula to get the total revenue. So we already have a query to get all the opportunities, right? Let's copy that. So okay, now I want to get total revenue, right? Okay, so I mean just trying to, we can create an like we can add a revenue in account also if we wanted. I think there is a account field. Let me check. Yeah, I think we can reuse that. I don't think we need to uh, have a formula. Okay, so we can directly reuse this annual revenue. I'll just what is the okay. So let's use this annual revenue field. What I wanted to do is like I wanted to get the sum of all the opportunities. Like for example, I get all the amount, right? Now this query returns all the amount. This query returns a list with all the amount from the opportunities, right? So we can just use some formula, some function on that list to get the sum of all the opportunities and output that as a total revenue. Okay, so just let's go with this, and then let me create a mapping. Let's total revenue and accounts revenue. Okay, add. Let's preview. Okay, so we got total revenue now, so which is uh, 230K, right? Okay, so we got the total revenue. Let's get the customer type. Okay, we can get the customer type from the account object directly, uh, and we also need to get the customer loyalty. I mean, the total number of years that customer is with us, right? Using the customer since field, we can get the year. Uh, okay, let's create a form. Let's check the formula once. Okay, customer since year. Okay, so there is a function called year which will get just a return the year from the date. So I want to use accounts. Okay, customer since. Okay, so now let's create a mapping. Let's preview. Okay, we got the customer since year now. So we need to pass total revenue, opportunities count, customer since year, and customer type to the Apex function that we are going to build. So let's go to developer console and create a new Apex class. So sorry, I think there is one existing. Yeah. Okay. So I have this Apex class. It's not a callable interface. So this Apex, I just calculate health score here. So we need to pass the arguments with all the business inputs such as annual revenue, opportunity count, customer type, and customer since year. And this here we have the business logic, like when the revenue is greater than 1 million, give 30 points. If it is greater than 500k, give 20 points. If it is greater than 100k, give 10 points. Similarly for the opportunity count also we have, like if it is greater than, give 30, and 5 for 20, 20 for 5, and 10 for 0 opportunities. Okay, so we have this business logic. So we are going to call this Apex method from our callable interface. We're going to call this Apex method from our Apex custom function. So let's create Apex custom function. Okay, I will name it OmniStudio custom functions. Okay, okay, so we need to implement callable interface. So implement system dot callable interface. Okay. So to implement this interface, we must write call method. Okay, and all the methods should be global. All the I mean the class and the call method should be global, and a global object call method. Okay, I need to pass action, which is a string, and the arguments map of string object args. Okay. Okay, so inside orgs, right? Like this call method, like for example, uh, let me. Okay, so this call method, this orgs map has three different maps. We need to extract input from the orgs map. Okay, so let's map of string object input. So it's orgs dot get, okay, input. I'll just cast to map of string of object. Okay, similarly I need to get output, output and options. Okay, okay, so now let's check the action. So this action, right, we will be when we call this function from data mapper, we pass this as an argument. Let's call this action as a call calculate health. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if the action is calculate health. So I have to pass this exact string from the data mapper, so that it will when it calls this call it when it enters this call method, it will check, because in the same apex class we can create multiple apex function, right? uh, so for example, else if I can create some other function, like action equal to format phone number, right? So like this I can create a number of action I can perform a number of actions here. So the same apex class can be used to perform multiple actions. Okay, so for now let's go with calculate health. Okay, so inside calculate health, as I mentioned, we already have this function. I just need to call this function. Okay, okay, so let's return true inside the function, if not return null. Okay, so if like once we perform the action, so let's call this function first, account health functions dot calculate health score, right? So inside the I need to pass action, I need to pass the list of arguments, right? So list of arguments is present in input map, so I need to get that. Let's say input create another map here. Map of string object arguments. Okay, so input dot get arguments. So within input we have arguments map. So I'll cast it to map of string object. Okay, so now I got the arguments, which is map of string. Okay, so I can just directly pass this arguments to the account health functions dot calculate health score. Okay, okay, so now I got the output from account health functions. I need to return it back to the data mapper. So in order to return the output back to the data mapper, you have to add a result to the output map. Okay, so how do I do that? Output dot put result. Okay, and pass the output from this method. Okay, so what are the errors? Okay, it's implements. Okay, map of string. Okay, I missed the closing. Okay, save. Output dot put result. Okay, okay, what is the, okay, it's a list of object. Okay, okay, I think it's this is the list. It should be list actually. List of is list of object. Okay, so list of object. Let's understand uh, uh, the arguments that we are passing from data mapper to apex function first. Okay, so let's go back to our formula tab. So let's create a new formula. Let's understand function method. Okay, so there's a function method. So in the function, this method is used to call custom apex functions from data mapper. Okay, the first argument is the class name. Okay, so which class? This class name, right? This class must implement system.callable, otherwise it will error out. Okay, it must implement system.callable, and we also need to write call method inside this apex. We need to write the call method. So second argument will be the action name, which we are passing it here, right? Action name. So the action name is calculate health. Okay, and the remaining are the arguments. So you can create a number of arguments. All these arguments uh, will be uh, will be part of this arguments list. So that's why here we are uh, getting this argument list from the input dot get list of object. So all these remaining parameters that we are passing, right, they will be uh, added to this arguments list. Okay, so now what are the parameters that we need to pass? Let's go to this okay, what is the issue? Let me just copy this into my, we don't let me copy this function directly to our OmniStudio custom function class. Okay, I'll just call it directly. Okay, so uh, okay, now we are done with the Apex custom. We built the Apex custom function. So what we are doing is uh, we implement we implement the Apex class with the system.callable interface, and then we must implement call Apex method, which is the entry point for the all the request from the formula data mapper formula tab, right? So this call method has two arguments. One is the action, and the second one is the argument. Second one is the map, which contain all the other maps: input, output, and options. So we extract all the maps, and within the input map we have a arguments list, which is coming from the functions, which is coming from data mapper here from the function method. Okay, so what are the functions? Let's go to this. The first argument is annual revenue, then opportunity count, then customer type. So let's go to first argument is total revenue. So we can directly pass the value from one form previous formula to this formula. Okay, so total revenue. Second one is the opportunity count. Okay, opportunity count, and the third argument is customer type. Okay, so I'll just use customer type from the object, and the last one is customer since year, the year the customer was onboarded. Okay, so we have implemented. So let's name it account health score. Okay, okay, let's create a mapping account health score. Okay, let's preview. Okay, so we got account health score 30, which is coming from this Apex custom function. Okay, okay, so let's revisit what we have built. So we implemented system.callable interface, then we implemented a call method and action calculate health, and this is a function to calculate health score. Okay, so this is the important uh, like this is what we need to remember, like in order to call establish the communication between OmniStudio component and the Apex, we must implement this interface. Okay, and how to call this function from data mapper? Use function. For the function method you have to pass Apex class, which implemented the callable interface, and the action name. So the action name must match with the action check we are doing here. Okay, and then the list of arguments that we need to pass to the Apex function. Okay, okay, yeah. So in this video we learn how to extend OmniStudio formulas using custom Apex functions. So we implemented callable Apex class and received inputs dynamically from data mapper, and return the calculated output back to the data mapper from Apex. Okay, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next session.